Yo, what's going on, guys? Sorry, my voice is gone. Coming back from a trip to Atlanta, so I wanted to share with you guys what I use for my indicators, how I go and approach my trading view. I get a lot of questions about this, and I really need to do a video more officially on it as well. But for now, I'll show you guys how and what I'm doing. So first things first, let's go to my favorite indicators. So I'll try to explain each one as I put them on there, just so you guys have perspective. So one of my favorite indicators is the SSS 50% rule indicator by Wolf and Bear. I think this is a very important indicator. So let me go ahead and put that on. So what this does is it will tell you the 50% retracement areas on whatever time frame you're on. So I'm on the daily right now. It's going to show the weekly and the monthly as well. But let's see if we can go to the higher time frame. But yeah, it'll show you the monthly highs, the weekly highs, the if you go down to the daily, it'll show you the daily high, the daily low. These are great areas for you to be able to see where to enter for puts or for calls, depending on how you trade. So for me, for instance, I don't even know why this is here. Let me be honest with you. The daily is right here. So I'm going to put this here. And for me, what I like to do, I like to have about like 4 of these different I guess you can call them alerts. By hitting option A, you can now go and set an alert. And you can put it either for once or for every time. So for me, what I do is on the very bottom of the monthly low, I'll make this an every time situation. And the monthly high, I'll also make it an every time situation. And then for the weekly or 50%, weekly or monthly 50%, I'll put it as a every time as well. So I'm always aware within a massive range, this is since June, what's going on with the stock and a company, right? And then when you go to the daily, same thing. I also put one here. I know you can't really see it because it's kind of covered up, but this little blue one that's back here is the daily high or the daily 50%. So let me see if I can go down to the 4-hour and show you guys. Nope. Okay, the weekly high is kind of shadowing it a little bit. Yeah, so it's just, there it goes. You can see it. So I normally will do that, and I'll set my alerts just like this. So right now, as you can see, this is AVGO. Let's go ahead and zoom out to the daily. It's hitting previous resistance of high. I think it's going to keep going. But let's continue to look at these indicators. Again, ATR versus day trade. I forget what the, the DTR stands for, but day trading range. So this is right here. This shows me how much it can move in a day. I truthfully don't use this indicator very much. I'm not gonna lie, but it does give me perspective as to how much and how fast a company can move, just like AVGO. Next, we have the EMA 20, 50, 100, and 200. I'm a really big fan of these indicators. As you can see, the blue, the teal, and the red. This will give me a clear understanding of where these big pivot points have been in the previous history of the stock on the monthly, on the daily. Well, you can't really see it on the monthly, but I think it's on the weekly. Yep, there you go. So like for instance right here, instead of me putting it at this 50% for the weekly, I would then move it up to this red line, which is the 200% AMA. So I know I'm not gonna let it come down all. If AVGO drops, which I think it will at some point, if it comes back here, I know to get in at 152.86, not wait for it to get down to 150, because by then I may have missed the rally, because the smart traders know to go and grab it when it gets to the 200 day 200 EMA, as you can see up there with the red. So that'd be my suggestion with EMAs. I have it changed as well. Shout out to Ian Dunlap, Master Investor. He suggested wherever it is, I don't know. I don't even know where the heck I can go and see it. Anyway, I changed the defaults and I made the 50 70. It was his suggestion, or I made the 100 70 EMA. So I believe so. Let me go double check that and see. Yeah, I'll go double check and let you guys know, but I'm pretty sure I changed the 100 to a 70, or I got an indicator. Oh yeah, I took off the 100. As you can see, there's only 3 lines. If you go to the daily, there's only the blue, teal, and red, which are the 20, 50, and the 200. The 70, I made a separate alert because he was suggesting from him that was a better indicator. So I just took that to heart. FVG, guys, this is my nephew Sam. It shows you areas where there's critical buy areas inside the plays. I think these are really cool. I don't even remember where I first learned this, but this shows you critical buy areas for a play. So if AVGO comes back into this range, I'm going to go and buy. And you can see this little red right here. This is another on the daily. This is like the 200-day moving average on the daily. So Definitely a good area you'd want to get into. Oh, sorry, I apologize. I keep saying 200. That's the 20-day moving average. 200 is down here in the blue. So with that being said, this is a good indicator to see where to buy and where strong selling is. You can see here there was strong selling indication. So if you were paying attention with the FVG, you would know to get the hell out before this went and tanked, or make money if you're doing puts. So there's something there. Next indicator, we're going to go over moving average daily convergence, MACD, one of my favorite indicators right here as well. Great indicator, shows you where the bullish, bearish, or bullish volume is. As you can see, AVGO has a lot of bullish volume coming up right now, so I think we're going to see a lot of the semiconductors rise, as I told some of you guys inside the chat as well, because AVGO and a lot of these other semiconductors are starting to show some strength. Now we're also going to go move over to moving average exponential, and this is the one I told you guys I did. So there it goes right there. That's the orange one. I changed this to let me go ahead and see it here. Go edit, style, inputs. Yeah, I changed that to 95. I think that was supposed to be 70. Actually, now I'm looking at this. Now I'm going to go double check. I'm going to go look at that video again. But I believe it was supposed to be 70. Let's go ahead and save this as a default. There you go. That makes more sense. So so now I have the 20, 50, 70, and the 100. I took off the 100 on the indicator list. So these are all the areas I would be looking at to get into a play, or for pivots, or for whatever the heck is going to go on in a play for AVGO, for example. So if I was a day trader, or if I was doing short-term options and I went to the hourly, I would keep this in mind. I'd bear this in mind to make sure I'm keeping my eyes peeled on if it was to come down to these levels. Like if it came down to right here, I'm definitely going to be a buyer of AVGO. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, there's that. Now let's go back here. Go back to the daily for the indicators again. Range reversal, the ADR versus ORB. I'm gonna also be honest again. I do not use this often. Matter of fact, I think I only use it here and there because I'm not a day trader anymore. I'm barely even a swing trader. But if this little weird looking green bar and red bar up here shows you the daily range of where something's moving. So, for instance, AVGO, it didn't quite come down to this green buy area. It kind of pivoted off of this. It's following the 20-day moving average very well. It only gapped down once right here below this line of the 20-day moving average. So it stays above the 20-day moving average very well. I think there's a lot of consistent buyers of AVGO, so it's not going to gap down too often. Let's go to the next one. RSI, one of my favorites. So let's go ahead and move this up. Move this up. I like it at the top of the screen, kind of like how Stock Charts has it. For those of you guys who use Stock Charts, I like Stock Charts a lot, but I like TradingView more. And I like how they kind of have things set up on here. So for AVG, or for the RSI, I keep it at the top. And that's a little bit of a lot of indicators going on here, but this is what works for me. But yeah, so this is how I would have my RSI, kind of have it at the top here. And what I did was, again, shout out to Master Investor. He suggested not to use the regular RSI setup. So what I did, if you go into, where is RSI? Oh, here we go. You go into here. I changed the length to 95 instead of, I think it was 70 and 5. I did 95 and 5. He suggested that because you get a stronger perspective of when something is extremely oversold or overbought. So perfect example. Let's go here and look. If we go here and we look at the RSI example, right here, extremely, if you were on the 70-day moving average, it wouldn't have looked like this spike. It wouldn't have been as prominent for you to know, hey, this is really oversold and we're about to go into a decreasing potential here. Same with here, boom, right before it went down. And even now, we look at it and it had a nice little dip, 2 dips, which I think is like a double bottom now that I'm looking at it. Like if you guys can see this, it's a double bottom right here and a double bottom right here, which indicates a bullish signal going upwards. Like if we were to draw a line, I think we're going to be really bullish on AVGO. But that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? So that's another one of those indicators that are really prominent and good. I personally like a lot. And then let's go to the next one here. Let's go to the Strat Assist. Also one of my favorite ones, to be honest. Shout out to Invest with Less who put me onto this one. So as you can see, a little flag right there. It will tell you on whatever time frame what they think it is, how they think the stock is moving on a time frame. So right now on the daily, it's very, very freaking bullish. I think AVGO is finna rip. I really do. So I definitely will be staying in position and ready for this thing to take off, which I am. So definitely keep your eyes peeled on AVGO, as you can see from this. But as there's a lot of bullish continuation, a lot of bullish volume. Look down here on the MACD and RSI, a lot of bullish volume. So you have so many different ways to tell you, hey, something's going up, and you have so many 2-2 revs going up. Everything's just bullish for AVGO. So perfect example of these indicators coming in clutch. And last but not least is the Wedge Maker, probably my favorite one. It auto draws lines for you to see how a play is looking in totality. And as you can see, there's a lot of room theoretically for AVGO to run. It's not even close to the top of this previous wedge, and it's judging it based upon the previous hit points that it's had. Boom, right here. Boom, right here. Boom, right here. So it's drawn this line according to the previous highs, and then also drawn the lows according to the previous lows. Boom, right here. Boom, right here, which is, like I said, a double bottom. Man, see, it feels good to know what the heck you're seeing, right? So, yeah, these are all my indicators that I use. This is how I kind of judge how I'm getting into plays. I use all of these in combination with each other. I like them all, and I've discovered that these are probably the most important indicators to me, especially as a swing trade leap trader. I think this is what works the best. So when I caught AVGO down here, actually, I made a killing on it because I noticed it hit the bottom of this wedge, and it was also touching this 200-day moving average. I know the blue's kind of light, so you can't really see it too. It's kind of dark. Should make it like white or something like that. But yeah. Anyway, hope this was helpful for you guys, and definitely going to be posting this on YouTube for anybody to see. Anyway, thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day.